I spent a good part of 2021 filming great white sharks from above. This is part 1 of 2 of my collection of favorite drone footage I captured this year. From above, you gain a whole new perspective. From human encounters to sharks gliding through kelp forests, I filmed sharks that are typically unnoticed. No footage captures one's attention quite like the footage showing humans and sharks in close proximity. Throughout the year, I filmed countless scenes like this. I observed that in Southern California, shark encounters with humans are much more common than I ever imagined. Some things I witnessed were extraordinary. Like in this clip, I may have actually filmed a juvenile white shark sleeping just before encountering a paddleboard. Notice how the shark becomes startled. It then does something I rarely see. The shark turns back toward the paddleboarders. Here's another encounter I filmed on that same day. This paddleboarder has no visual on the shark, but right here, you clearly see the moment the paddleboarder realizes it's behind him. Scenes that have likely occurred in Southern California many times in the past are now filmed every day, thanks to our eyes in the sky. Sharks and surfers cross paths almost daily. This footage shows just how close juvenile white sharks get to surfers. Notice how when one surfer falls off the board, the shark shows absolutely no interest. The intriguing aspect of these types of encounters is that they mostly occur without the surfer's direct knowledge of a shark nearby. That's because the angle, reflections, and movements on the water can make it nearly impossible for any person on the surface to see the sharks. This shark gets very close to the surfer, yet both the shark and the humans continue on their paths. The shark goes right under the surfer without reaction. These encounters are known as indifferent encounters, meaning the shark continues normal movement with little to no reaction to the humans. But sometimes I captured encounters that did make me nervous, like this one. This shark comes extremely close to these two kids. Both kids entered the water on a beach with posted shark warning signs. When I filmed this, I was quite nervous, but like most sharks, once it realizes it's not their food, it turns away. Still, it can be said it got a bit too close for comfort. What's even more interesting is the kids continued to swim despite the fact I showed them the footage. Many beaches in Southern California have warning signs, yet a majority of swimmers still enter the water. Here, this swimmer is standing in no more than 4 feet of water, unaware a shark is nearby. One reason these young white sharks are close to shore is because they enjoy the oxygen-rich waves, which is also coincidentally the location of choice for surfers. One particular encounter I captured this year was with film star Orlando Bloom. The juvenile white shark I filmed next to him is approximately 9 feet long. But just as I discussed with him afterwards, in Southern California specifically, a vast majority of the encounters involve juvenile great white sharks ranging between 5 and 10 feet. Their behaviors are different from other species like bull sharks, tiger sharks, and even adult great whites. Here's a clip of a much smaller one, filmed near Los Angeles. You can really see how small this white shark is. Another reason these young sharks are so close to shore is that this is where they search for stingrays. Here's an example. This shark makes a close approach to this child. When I shared this originally, I was able to get a shark scientist's interpretation of what may be occurring here. An assessment of the footage indicated that the shark simply continued its search for rays. They do this in patterns, and what appears to be a shark chasing a child may actually be a shark simply searching for rays. Known as young of the year white sharks, they are mostly startled when encountered by humans. These young sharks are typically indifferent to the humans nearby. But it's not always small sharks, and instances like this still make me nervous. Watch as this 9 to 10 foot great white comes within a few feet of this surfer's foot. While it's unlikely a shark will strike, it is wise to remember that not every shark in our waters is small. So education and awareness is paramount. Here is the biggest shark I filmed near shore this year. You can easily see this shark's size in comparison to this boat. In my estimation, this shark is at least 12 feet long. Despite popular belief, dolphins and sharks are often seen together, and clips like this that I filmed this past summer demonstrate just how close they can get to each other. Watch as multiple sharks interact with a dolphin, all within sight of multiple swimmers. It's these types of moments that make observing the California coast so worthwhile. The biodiversity that exists at our doorstep is breathtaking. No matter how many times I see it, these scenes never get old, especially when two of the ocean's most treasured species share the same space. One thing I've noticed from above is that nature forms patterns everywhere, and great white sharks are no exception. Some of these patterns are only visible from above, patterns like these vortex trails left behind by this group of sharks. These patterns sometimes leave me with more questions than answers. It's known that some species of sharks can form loose associations. Is this what's going on here? These three sharks converge like a fleet of sharks. It's beauty in its simplest form. It's a behavior you don't see often in shark documentaries. But it's the scenes with no humans in them that are my favorite to film. Look at the amount of stingrays in the shallows. As I moved into deeper water, there's something waiting. Great white sharks. Perhaps they are waiting for high tide to arrive. It's evident they are attracted to this location. But why? Is it because of the stingrays or something else? The following is a series of clips showing some of the white shark and stingray interactions I captured this year. Most often, they are just living in their space, unfazed by each other. I know these sharks eat stingrays. It's their favorite food, but I've never seen an attack on one. It's sometimes unbelievable just how many sharks go near the stingrays, yet neither the rays or sharks seem to care. This display of nature is refreshing to see firsthand, especially if you have been so accustomed to thinking sharks are simple animals, always hungry and looking to attack. Yet this year, I've learned how misguided that concept is. If there's anything I can take away from a year's worth of observing sharks, it's that I'm constantly learning about them. Not a day goes by that this isn't true. And as I film these sharks more and more, I've become acquainted with their movements and the clues that may provide insight to their actions. Like in this footage, watch this shark suddenly speed up. What made it do this? Where is it going? As I followed it, I had an idea of what was likely happening here. I've seen it way too often. Sharks react to size. This movement is a clear example. And here you see it. Just look at the size of that second shark. It's incredible. The smaller shark always tries its best to hide behind the larger one. Always. Here's another example. Look at the size difference between these two and notice where the small one hides. So whether I film them alone in kelp forests or surrounded by rays, I know that it's only through patience and observation that I will capture something unique. I want to capture footage that could be useful to the study of sharks in some way. Footage like this. This is a white shark possibly everting its stomach to rid itself of debris. You can even see the matter coming out from its gills. It's those moments that take patience, and it's that patience that allows me to witness a scene like this. I honestly thought this shark would strike the bat rays, but for some reason, it didn't. Nature on the doorstep of Southern California gives us the opportunity to witness these encounters. Many people don't realize it exists here. I film it daily, and I can attest that I too once took it for granted. I plan to explore more in 2022. I invite you to join me, if anything, so I can share the beauty of this place with you.